Welcome to Beyond the Rigs, a podcast series that explains about the evolution of drilling technologies and the stories of the machines behind it. This series digs deeper into the innovations that transform the drilling industry. Each episode uncovers engineering breakthroughs, real-world challenges, industry milestones, and the people who push technology across mining, water well, infrastructure, and exploration. Join us beyond the method, beyond the rig. This is your host, Mithunraj Paranthaman. And today, we have an expert from Australia, Mr. Michael Premus, owner of a drilling company and operator of several drilling rigs for over 30 years experience in the drilling industry.
Thanks, Mithun. Thanks for the opportunity to come here. And my name's Mick Premus, Michael Premus, but most guys call me Mick. So I've been in the industry for around 30 years. Started in a small town in Bathurst, and I grew into as an expat and ran around the world for about 15 years. And that career drove me to wanting to own my own company. Mm-hmm. And in 2015, I decided to come back to Australia and spend a bit of time with my family. Okay. And that's when...
was your birthplace, you were born in Australia or you were born in Croatia?
Yeah, no, my parents are both Croatian, and they immigrated here, immigrated to Australia, and I was born in Australia, and I have one brother there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's great. So you were born in Australia, and you spent most of your growing years in Australia, getting into the outbacks and knowing about the drilling. What led you to get into the drilling industry?
So I grew up in Bathurst, which is a regional town, and down the road they started operations Cadia Mine. And when I was in my 18-year-old, I was driving a truck, and I turned up to a drilling company, and I thought that looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I asked them if they had a job, and they said, "Can you drive a truck?" I said, "I'm driving one now." So they said, "You've got the job." That's what got me there, mate.
Okay, yeah. Great. So you started as an operator for trucks, and then you got full hands-on onto the drilling rigs, right?
Yeah, well, we start off as an offsider with the training and that. In Australia, there's a lot of focus in training, and but one day the boss came to me and says, "Have you been to Western Australia?" And I said, "No." It was 6 degrees in Orange. He put me on a plane, and I landed in Western Australia. It was 40 degrees. I thought I was going to die.
That's an extreme difference, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the winter usually comes, on a different month. Let's say, I think it's in June.
Yeah.
June, July in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. In India, it's pretty much the rainy season.
Yes.
That time. So yeah, I'm expecting to experience this different weather during the month of June when I'm in Australia.
You've got to bring a jacket, mate. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah. So also, during our previous conversation, it was nice that you showed me a picture, or in fact, another colleague of mine showed me a picture of your son operating a truck. And he was just 14 years old. That was really good. So I think you have inspired him a lot.
Yeah, my children, I try and ground them and teach them the bare roots of life and working and responsibilities. They can drive trucks. They can ride motorcycles at a young age. My daughter, she was 14 when she started drilling on my drill rig, and
So I want to ask you about what is your experience in the drilling industry and what has changed in the past 10 years?
In the last 10 years, I think it's really focused on safety, innovation, hands-free. A lot of people are pushing for that. But training and safety is a big thing. When I first come into the drilling industry, it was just throw a set of boots on and a hard hat and get to work. And now we won't let the guys go anywhere near a rig until they've done their minimum training, and I think that's the biggest thing that's changed.
All right. So I think since Australia, it's setting the standards in the drilling industry. there's a lot of history behind the drilling technologies or the drilling evolution in Australia.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, again, we were swinging off cables with rods and stuff like that when I first started, and we got to rod loaders, and now we've got totally autonomous rod loading system and hands-free drilling. The guys don't even have to touch the rods when as we're drilling in and out.
Okay, so how did this so-called change of from manual to almost automated or autonomous come about? Is it a push from your industry, or is it a push from the regulation side?
So it started for the push from the regulations. We had some injuries and stuff like that. So the clients would prefer someone that had rod handling and hands-free operations. So that sort of drives the industry. So as a contractor, you change your equipment so you can win the jobs, and that just drove the changes. Yeah.
So Mike, let's talk a little bit more about your drilling company, Micacey Drilling. How many rigs do your company own, and how many years have you been on operation?
Yeah, so like I said, in 2015, I came back to Australia to settle down with the family and try and spend a bit of time with them. And I ended up picking up a job down in Victoria with a colleague of mine that I work with in Philippines, and we bought our first rig. And that expanded to 3 operational rigs right through to 2002. And so 2 diamond core, and I built a little RC rig. Now, I was running the RC rig 5 days a week, and I had the crews running 2 of the diamond rigs 24 hours a day. And that sort of prevented the staying home with the family, but built a business, and that I was quite proud of. In 2004, we decided to park up the rigs, and for me to come home and spend a bit more time with the family. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a family to come home to. So I just started a small water well drilling business around a local area, and that's become quite successful. And so at the moment, I've only got 1 rig operating. I've still got 5 rigs sitting at home that I like to play with every now and then, but it's just a passion. And
definitely,
yeah.
Yes. So you spoke a lot about your passion for drilling.
Yeah.
I think in PRD also we try to replicate the same about our passion for the drilling. What do you see since you have visited PRD? What do you see? That you can relate to back at home and your field experience?
Yeah, I can see a lot of similarities with the family orientation, the passion, innovation, and drive. You guys are very welcoming as a family, and I even attended your wedding, which was beautiful. And and right through the factory, I can see that. You've got how many employees, but they all feel like they're part of the family, and they're driven for success.
Now let's get into something about the industry. Where do you think the drilling industry globally is right now?
So I think the drilling industry globally is really taking off. You've got globalization is starting to come to an end. You've seen a lot of countries trying to get their sovereignty together, and they're opening up exploration right through Saudi, Australia, even with the oil exploration in Australia, is starting to take off because of this wars and issues that are going around the world. Africa is gangbusters. Australia's gangbusters. It's right through Asia. It's crazy. So I think the drilling industry it's on its 7-year run, as it normally does, and I think we're still heading up.
So what is the 7-year run?
So I look at it every 7 years. Then we have a collapse in some sort of economical market, and then everything stops. And then we weed out the people that want to stay in the industry, or the ones that will leave. And all of a sudden, then we're getting whipped back to work and get drilling. Yeah,
definitely. And that's how it goes. It's a good cycle, but it's definitely periodic, and it takes. It gives opportunities to different parts of the globe. Right now, there is a slump in West Asia, I think.
Yes.
Because of the wars and the current situation. How is it in Australia as of now?
So in Australia, the utilisation of rigs are very high. We're even bringing. The last site I was at, they had 10 rigs on there, and some of the rigs, 10, 15 years old. So they're bringing the ones out of the woodwork, refurbishing them and getting them to work, So there's guys out there that are pushing hard to get it going and trying to get the money as it's provided.
All right.
Yeah.
So there is new minerals coming up, especially something called rare earth minerals.
Yes.
Yeah, you've heard of them, used in these semiconductors and all these kind of things. And is it available in Australia as well?
Yeah, so Australia is one of the largest exploration for rare earth minerals.
Oh, okay.
It's a big drive from China with all this electrification, and everybody's hungry for it. So there's a lot of little startups, little exploration companies popping up all over the place. And yes, they need drilling, mainly air core and a bit of diamond work. But the juniors sort of chase the shallow sort of formations. Mm-hmm. So so there's definitely an opportunity there.
You spoke about junior companies. How do they start off? Australia being a very mature market, how do these new companies start off, especially in the drilling segment?
Yeah, well, normally it's a little partnership between guys that know each other and geologists, and they get a tenement somewhere, and normally they know what they're looking for. And where the guy that I joined up with, he was a junior, and he just picked up a few tenements that he worked on in the past, and because of the commodity prices picking up, so they've decided, well, let's get in there and drill and test it. And they just release the information to the stock market and start building wealth. Yeah.
I want to know about the equipments. What equipments do they go for? Do they go for a brand new equipment, or do they just look at kind of an old refurbished machine?
So the junior market is they'll take whatever they can. It's as cheap as possible. We've got to get in there and drill. Mm-hmm. That side of the market sort of lets the Australian innovation in the rigs down, because you just grab an old rig and go and drill a few holes until you can afford to get the new stuff. Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, to operate a rig might be a little more complicated now, especially with the safety regulations, the price of fuel, the price of labor, sometimes the availability of labor. How are these companies adapting to that scenario?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge these days is employees, getting the talent pool together. In a smaller sector, most people are doing it themselves and have got not so trained, new to the industry offsiders. Mm-hmm. And once these guys get a little bit trained, they take off from the small companies to the bigger companies, because they know they can make more money. So the challenges are to create a good team and get going. With diesel prices and everything else, cost of living, that sort of cuts into your profits. Mm-hmm. So you try and get the job done quick as possible and get the crew home, so they've got a family to,
That's great. Yeah. I think this is the case globally as well, where there's shortage of labor, especially people who are skilled in that particular industry, right?
Yeah.
And this is a global challenge as well. In prices increasing, profits are being cut. yeah, as we find new technologies, this helps. The machine itself helps in reducing, the labor and gives better performance. So this is where we would like to push our machines as well. And the way you see it, what is the most important factor uh, going forward for a machine?
We need to sort of really concentrate on fatigue. So making it easier to drill, making the rig more productive or as productive as possible without the manual labour. So with rod loaders and rod presenters, spinners. So when you're taking pipe out in and out of the hole, you haven't got your guys working hard. They're just there to help, assist, and with the rod, hands-free rod handling, actually they enjoy the work. When that thing breaks down, they don't want to be there.
Definitely, they're just going to run away, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So how much of the drilling industry themselves are mechanics or service engineers?
Not many. So as a driller, because I worked as an expat, and we didn't have fitters on site. You had 5 rigs to look after in Africa, so you had to run around and look after the drillers and maintain the equipment ourselves. So back in the past, we'd learn all our skills like that and push ourselves to be able to keep the rigs running and keep the boys happy. But these days, the fitters are very rare to have around the rig. The maintenance itself, the driller is responsible for the daily maintenance, but if anything goes wrong with the rig, the clients won't let you do any maintenance out on site. So it normally just comes back to the workshop where, the company workshop, and we sort it out there.
I guess the regulations around the drilling site also have changed, drastically. So if you have a breakdown, you have to pack up and leave.
That's correct. That's correct. And the environmental stuff like that. So we can't have oil spills. We can't have any sort of maintenance out in the. So safety is coming into it a lot. Environmental's coming into it a lot, and basically it's best practice anyway to take the machine home, get it cleaned up, get it back to work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Mick, what are the recent trends in the drilling industry as of today?
So with the trends, or what's shaping the industry, is a lot of environmental. So when we go out on exploration sites, they don't clear us a football field anymore. So the rigs have got to be able to perform on the side of hills and on virgin ground. So we don't get a flat area. We can't have large rigs, because if it's on a slope, then the rig won't be able to be set up. Environmental is a big shape, because it's we got to have above ground sumps with the diamond drilling. We're not allowed to have any dusts, pollutants through the air. So safety with the dust, no fluid to ground on some sites. So it's really pushing our limits in being able to operate a rig and keep the client happy and go with the government regulations.
Is there a drastic change when you compare these rigs 5 years ago to now?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So where the large UDR style rigs on a truck, on an 8x8 truck, used to roll all around Australia. Now we can't put them rigs on a site. So we're looking at the smaller footprint track mounted rigs. And so the change in the rigs, smaller footprint, much stronger, and so with the noise limits and stuff like that.
Okay, so they have to be much quicker and more silent.
That's right.
And so more hands-free.
Hands-free, that drives everything.
Yes, that's right. That's great. So you have many more bits now, right? I mean, instead of one big unit, now there are several mobile units. Is that a recent trend as well? Yeah.
So as it's going, we're trying to make the footprint smaller. So we take the cyclone off the rig and stuff like that when we're doing RC. Then we have a trailer mounted cyclone with a dust suppression unit. So environmental, all these add-ons that go onto a rig and ends up making the rig too big to be able to be on that footprint. So, yes, so we're making the rig smaller, making the rigs more powerful, or that's what we're looking for. And, so we can get deeper and a smaller footprint. Yeah.
So we spoke about things like safety and automation. Now, how much of energy saving, like fuel consumption or going electric, how much of these are coming into the picture in the latest trends?
The whole picture of electrifying exploration drill rigs and stuff like that, that's sort of not in its right element in Australia. We're out in regional, a couple 100 kilometres away from the services.
Yeah.
So if the machines are more fuel efficient, better for us as a drilling business. But it hasn't really been pushed to electrify anything yet. So yeah,
that's great. But our companies, pushing for a lot of economy when it comes to fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way they're going about it. Maybe they're going for a tier 5 engine. Are these also part of regulations yet? Or?
Absolutely. So it's more of the environmental. Yeah, environmental. So they look at diesel burn. They look at emissions. So the tier 1 guys, they're actually, yes, concentrating on all that sort of stuff. The juniors are happy to get what they get, but I can see it coming to the day where the government regulations will push for the better environmental standards.
Of course, yes, definitely. But I want to know about your global perspective as well when it comes to these environmental regulations as well, because now we know that safety is a thing which is catching up in every mind.
Yes.
But how about the environmental regulation?
Oh, definitely. Globally, I believe that the environmental and the small footprint, you can't go into little villages and just doze a big pad and say we're going to drill here. So we need to limit the footprint. Then the fuel supply and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be a kicker across the whole industry. Yes.
Yes. So we spoke about labor as one of the challenges as well in today's day and age. How should the drilling industry focus on getting new talent?
Yeah, it's a hard one. So So for my business and for these regional businesses, we're looking for the young guys that are brought up in the country, that are used to a bit of hard work. The labour shortage and the ease of living in town. Once you put someone out on a drill rig, it doesn't work.
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah. So the fact that we got Starlink now, which we give internet connection out on the drill rig, that helps with the guys that can make contact with their family and stuff like that. So back in the day, we wouldn't see a phone for a week, so we'd just be out in the swags right next to the rig, So these days it's getting nicer. The accommodation these days.
Bushmeat, I think. Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't take it that far, but we used to go out shooting and stuff like that, and have a good time. It's just a real boys trip. It's like going camping with your mates, but you have to work during the day. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. So, is there any particular skill these guys can focus on, to get onto a machine in the future?
The guys' skills that are lacking in the industry are just the general skills of problem solving and strength. I really don't know what sort of skill. Mechanics is a good skill to have, but basically it's just problem solving and willingness to push yourself. Yeah.
Definitely. I think problem solving is one key skill. As you know, when you don't see the ground and when we're drilling through it, every second we run into something, right?
Absolutely. So you got to know how to feel and listen to what the machine's doing and stuff like that. So problem solving, you never know where you're going, what you're going to happen, what's happening next, but you've got to
Be prepared,
be
yes.
prepared and keep it running. Yeah.
Yes, like you've been doing for the past 30 years, mate. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. In terms of technology, there is a lot of talks about AI and other things. I know AI is a little bit far for the drilling industry, but how much of technology is used in drilling machines nowadays?
So it's getting advanced. So we can monitor the performance of the machine from an office, from a live site. Like I said before, we've got Starlink on most of the rigs, so we can look at the telemetry of the machine working, hours, and performance. That also includes for maintenance purposes, hours worked, so we can monitor when the service is due and if the machine's performing right.
So is this something a company looks at while buying a machine, or?
You do if it's in the affordable basket. If it's in the unaffordable basket, well, you just
want the basic rig.
And it all depends on how you're buying the machine and what you're buying the machine for. If you've got crews on it and you've got good crews, like in Australia, we train our guys pretty good, and our guys look after the machines because that's what makes them the money. In Australia, we have a bonus schedule, so they get paid a healthy day rate plus a bonus schedule. So it's in their best interest to look after that machine so they can use that machine at its best performance all the time.
So that's where the technology is now come into the preventive maintenance and the maintenance of the machine.
Absolutely.
Right? Like all the data which is being gathered is more for the maintenance of the equipment and for the health of the machines.
Yes, correct. Okay. And to see what the guys are doing, their performance.
And the performance.
And capturing safety as well as daily pre-starts. So we understand if there's any issues with the machine, we can help them out.
Is there any kind of software in the industry now which is helping in terms of analyzing this data or gathering this data? Any companies giving you connections to your rig which can give you these kind of preventive maintenance data?
I think there is. I really haven't touched base with that sort of stuff. Our operations have been a much smaller scale, but I'd really be interested in understanding more about it.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. Actually, in PRD, we've come up with a technology called PRD Care. It is based on these kind of preventive maintenance and daily performance recordings as well.
Yep.
It is based on a mobile app. So every rig is registered as a user.
Yeah.
So you can put your rig serial number and it registers in as a user. You can upload your performance data for the day. And it also, once you upload those data, it will calculate the number of hours your machines run and it will give you a scheduled maintenance. It will help you directly connect with the after sales team to give you a quotation or a proforma for the spare parts, whatever is requested. So,
wow. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see that. Yeah, excellent.
And and the other part, which I was already telling you, was the augmented reality part.
Yeah, that sounded quite interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, if a service engineer cannot reach the site, we give you a augmented reality app where suppose a gearbox is failed and you need to change the spindle of the gearbox. You need to know how to disassemble it. So through AR or augmented reality, we will virtually show you how to dismantle the gearbox, the equipment.
Yep.
And then the person or random mechanics, so to speak, can do it on site.
Wow.
For any of our equipments. And when the spindle is replaced, it will show them how to reassemble as well.
Yep.
And then fill the oil and it's ready to go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So training in virtual space.
Yes. That's kind of a virtual training.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Very good.
According to you, what helps in the reliability of a machine?
Knowing the machine. So if you know the machine, you know how to take care of the machine. Reliability comes from the first part of the build is it's got to be strong, and then you got to use parts that are strong and
they have good quality and
available on the shelf.
Yeah.
So this is where the Chinese machines don't sort of cut the mustard because you can't get parts for them. And there's a lot of guys that have tried in Australia to import this thing, and only after a few months it's parked up in the rubbish bin.
I think I can agree to that because these machines just are not that reliable. They can't perform for a long duration. So, what would be a difference for a conventional machine versus a future-ready machine?
I think a future-ready machine definitely needs to be part of a company that is going to support you. You need to have, like I say, parts on site. You need to have that technology in the machine, and autonomous is moving into the industry very fast. So anything that can be save the fatigue from the drillers, that help with the manual handling and safety aspect, I think that's your future. And ease of maintenance. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great. So, can you tell me, have you been to the super pit?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got a couple of photos of the super pit.
All right.
Yeah, she's a big hole in the ground. It only took me about 26 years to get to the super pit.
Oh, 26 years.
Yeah. I went through Kalgoorlie a couple of times, but never got to, when we go to work, we just go to work. We don't do much tourism, but I did have the opportunity a few years ago to go there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Must be a spectacle.
Oh,
Are there still equipments out there in the pit?
Sorry?
Are there still machines out there?
Yeah, no, they're working. Yeah, they're still working. The haul trucks.
Even though it's 600 meters deep already?
Mate, when you see that 200-ton,
Tagline.
yeah, and it looks that big over there, it's just crazy. Yeah,
That's crazy, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, that's incredible. And one of man-made marvel, I think.
Have you been there?
No.
No, well, we have to get over there, mate. Yeah, Kalgoorlie is a spectacle
itself. It would take me 26 years. If it had taken an Australian 26 years, maybe me 46, man. Yeah, for sure. So that's... but I visited Cowdor, which is, again, maybe one of the largest open pit mines.
Okay.
It's in it's in Russia.
Okay, yeah.
And it's near Murmansk, which is the furthest city in the Arctic Circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was luckily it was not peak winter, it was just -10.
Yeah. Still to give you jingle bells on it, make it cold.
Definitely. And that was 300 meters deep.
Yeah.
I don't know about the width of it, but it was 300 meters already over there. And we witnessed a blast there, so it was good.
Yeah, very cool.
It was good. And they have big machines, big rigs there.
Yeah, big dump trucks, big rotary reels.
Yeah. They're doing around 300 mm diameter holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty big, massive. What I've seen.
I think the biggest achievement by man is making these big machines and getting them to run. Now we're extracting what Mother Nature gives us, and we're creating everything. Everything that comes to you or what you want is either mined or farmed. So
of course,
yeah. So I feel like I'm part of making the world a better place.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to say. Yeah, definitely. There was this person I have met. I told you about him. He was a consultant for us. And he also spoke about the same thing. Everything in this world is either farmed or it's mined.
That's right. Yeah.
And he had this theory about we go to space, right? That we call outer space. And since he's an underground miner, he's like, I always work in inner space.
Inner space. That's right. In a small space. That's what it is. Yeah.
It's pretty claustrophobic. I think I would be scared, trying to go down like 300, 400 meters down a shaft and then just being in a tunnel right there.
Yeah.
Have you been to an underground mine?
Yeah, one of the last opportunities I have in Australia, we were putting underground rigs in, and I spent 12 months on this project, and it was a tiny little mine, and it's only 1 kilometre in, but it was a small mine, so you had to walk everywhere. There was no vehicles, and no, it's very claustrophobic. I prefer the surface, absolutely.
Yeah, super. Talking about that, do you think that we're going to run out of mineral on the surface, or?
Oh, absolutely not. No,
okay.
Yeah. So the pit mining and all that sort of stuff, it goes against some practices.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've still got places around the world that we can easily mine. And the underground stuff is more for, to smaller the footprint of the mine, to extract exact minerals where you're chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
The big miners are sort of, they got their place.
How about minerals like, coal and gold are usually the minerals which are being mined underground now, or even copper.
Yeah.
These rare earths are still surface, I assume?
Sorry?
The rare earth minerals are still pit mined?
So they're pit mined, definitely pit mined, because the rare earths, well, like we said before, it's the juniors that were chasing it. Things like lithium and that, they're actually chasing it underground now,
mm-hmm.
where conventionally it was just pit mined.
Okay.
The gold, coal, it's either surface or underground, and main of the sands and rare earths, just pit. Yeah.
So is there lithium in Australia?
Yeah. Kalgoorlie, there's a lot of lithium around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kalgoorlie has everything, huh?
Absolutely, everything. But it's a big jewelry box and a treasure trove. Yeah.
That's great. Calgary gold fields, right?
Yes.
We have a similar one in India as well.
Yeah, right. What's it called?
Kolar gold fields.
There you go.
Yeah.
You copied us or we copied you, one or the other. No.
I think Australia are the pioneers. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I think the Kolar gold fields are pretty ancient, as old as the Indian civilization.
Yeah.
Since all the gold came from there, and right now the mines are being reopened after a closure for 2 decades.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
And what's driving that? Is the gold price and or the government relief, or
it's government. I think right now the mines is owned by the government.
Yes.
Previously they thought that they ran out of the ores.
Yeah.
I think they've explored and found some new pit or new area which they can open up, and they've gone back into production there.
Very good.
Yeah. What do you think is the most important factor for a global drilling company?
Looking after your people and supplying your guys with good quality equipment and giving them the tools to succeed. You got to look after your men and look after your gear.
That's a wise word.
Yeah,
that's really good. Looking after your men is, especially in the drilling industry, where safety matters. That is a really strong statement.
Everybody wants to go home better at the end of the day than they turned up which means that you've made a bit of money, you've worked hard, you might be tired, but you've bettered yourself after that day.
So how important is after sales and service to be globally competitive in today's drilling industry for a manufacturer, of course?
So for a manufacturer, or as I am as an owner, and if I'm investing in machinery, I want to know that I have the support. We're not going to go and spend all this money and have a machine turn up to site and not have the support. So it is 100%. Its most important part that the manufacturer gives the client support and availability of parts. And like you said with that app, I think that's probably a game changer, because some of the components on your machine might not be the same as what our fitters are used to. So if they've got some sort of reference and using technology, I think that's a great advancement.
Yeah. So yes, we spoke about the importance of after sales, but how much of the manual, the operator's manual or the owner's manual for a machine, is actually used on site by the operator or by the driller?
In Australia, you normally have your manual for your rig on the drill rig.
Mhm.
So if you're got an issue, you can look through the schematics, you can look at through the wiring schematics, you can trace a part. There's always a copy on the rig, or should be a copy on the rig. These days it's gone digital, so it'll be on your iPad when you're doing your pre-starts and stuff like that, or the office can send you a copy via the internet. Yeah.
According to you, which company has the best manual? Just for
I find them all fairly difficult, but the Universal Drill Rigs back in the day, they used to have a very, very thorough manual and service regime, and that's like I'm biased because that's what I grew up with through the industry. I always thought that UDRs were the best rigs, and they were capable, and they pushed innovation. But over the years, they've changed ownership and stuff like that. So you can't get good manuals from some manufacturers, but you can get quite decent ones from others.
Talking about the next decade of drilling, what are the future technologies you expect down the line in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think we need to break that up in that question. So with the in pit mining, I think autonomous is going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
That just takes the people out of harm's way in pit. So blast hole drilling and stuff like that. With the exploration, I think the major push is going to be hands-free operations right across the board. There'll always be the smaller companies that allow stuff, but just the standard sort of drilling. The auto drill side of things with in pit mining and easily read ground or understood ground could work, but with AI technology, how it is really advancing right through every other industry, I think AI might be able to help in the exploration side of things, but I think it's a little bit off at the moment. So we'll always have operators out on the drill rigs themselves in exploration. So when we're doing RC and that, because there's so many different parameters to understand and feed and control. That's correct. So the next 10 years, I think the challenges are going to be the environmental impacts, the way the global is going with fuel shortages and people getting scared. I think we're probably just going to be pushing towards autonomous and taking the manual labour out of drilling.
Out of drilling. That's great.
Yeah.
Yep. So we spoke about exploration drilling, which is predominantly the RC and the diamond core.
Yeah.
There is the latest technology, sonic drilling.
Yeah. I haven't had much to do with the sonic drilling side of things, but it's still a evolving concept. It works and it works great in certain rock formations or non-rock formations. You get a really good
Retrieval. Yes.
yeah. So but I think it's got its place.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, I don't have much to do with it. Yeah.
I mean, do you know what are the depths they're doing with sonic drill?
I think they're up to about 150 metres, I believe. I've seen some sort of little clips and stuff like that, but predominantly I think it's just a shallow sort of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And have you heard of the other technology, which is plasma drilling?
No, I haven't got into it. No.
Okay. I recently read a paper on that. Which said they use there's no kind of cuttings coming back to the surface because everything is disintegrating. They're using laser to create enough heat and force to just melt through the rock.
So is that just to drill a hole, or is it to
Just to drill a hole.
Just to drill a
I
hole.
think they're doing around NQ sizes, but I'm not really sure. I think that's just a paper, so nothing come into actual prototypes.
Yeah. So right through my career, we've always chased exploration and a little bit of blast hole side of things. And the grade control comes off the blast hole rigs, so they want cuttings to come back.
Yeah.
And in exploration, you have to bring out everything that that you've drilled, so the guys can see what's happened.
So you're all about the cuttings.
Absolutely, it's all about recovery, mate. Every meter matters. And the core. Yeah.
Mike, it was a pleasure having you. We've had some insightful talks. And what would be one advice you would like to give the younger generation who want to get into the industry?
Advice to give the younger generation to come into the industry: you've got to be open-minded. You've got to be willing to learn skills that are totally different to everything you've learned before, and you've got to be able to leave your family behind and be able to be part of a team. Cherish that. Look after your brothers out on the team, and just do as you're told.
Definitely. Being out there in the field is definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
I've been there. You've been there. But now people just want to be closer to comfort, I think.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of change where only a few people accept. That's why a lot of our machines are getting into a lot of automation and autonomous kind of things.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with the autonomous phase, people can sit back and relax and operate it from home.
You would hope we'd get to that stage, but for now, we're doing everything we can. We're bringing the internet out onto the rig. We're giving the guys air-conditioned rooms. We've got cooks. We've got cleaners. And as a supervisor or as a owner of a company, I'm normally their mum, their dad, and their brother. We'll have a beer at the end of the day, and we'll train these guys to be able to enjoy themselves and work hard and become something better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think being out there in the site or on a machine teaches you a lot about leadership and decision making. Like you said, they should be able to problem solve. So one of the key factors for problem solving, I think, is decision making, and that comes into picture when you're out on the site. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So no one's going to do it for you. If you see it, you pick it up, you do it, and you work as a team. And most of the guys are rewarded quite well. And I've had a lot of guys that have come through the industry over the years, and I'm still mates with them, and they're happy to be involved in the industry, and they've grown, bought houses, bought cars, and stuff like that, which is things that they wouldn't have been able to do if they found a different career path.
Yeah, it would have taken some more time comparatively, I guess.
Yeah.
What is one thing you would have liked the industry to retain, as it goes forward, and one thing you like the industry to change as it goes forward?
The industry is quite small, and we always cross paths. And the mateship and you might have a competitor working next to you, but if you've got a problem, they'll help you. I want that to stay in the industry. Inner fighting is never good. Something to get bad habits is the push for guys to do extra swings and extra time and pulled away from their family. In the industry, I'd like that work-life balance, and but it can't be always done. But that's one thing that we really need to focus on: mental health and work-life balance.
Have you ever been on an oil rig?
Not on an offshore oil rig, but we were doing some gas drainage holes and stuff like that. So running BOPs and things like that.
What depth was those?
Only a couple of 100 meters.
Okay. But since they were so pressurized, you were running with BOP?
That's right. So we're on Lahare Island as well. So we're drilling into the volcano. So any gases that were coming up, we had to mineralize.
Can you give me a little more about that experience drilling with so much, such an aggressive
well, you follow procedures and everything's right.
Okay.
But you've got to be on the ball and you've really got to understand what you're doing, and you don't take anything for granted. So as soon as you take something for granted, things start going wrong. It's a Swiss cheese effect. It's a 1% effect. There might be 1% over here, 1% over here, but you've got 10 things going wrong. All of a sudden, it's a disaster.
I would like to know a little bit more about your drilling experiences with the Australian formations. Can you give me a little bit, like there is volcanic and then there is...
Well, so in Australia, it's an old country, or you have young parts, and you got a lot of weathered formations. So with the weathered formations up to 100 meters deep, you can lose core when you're drilling. For a company that's looking for core, you've got to use different techniques, different fluids and stuff like that to have that recovery. Now, I believe that the guys that have been trained in Australia and drilled in that different formations are the best in the world. You go to places like Canada or stuff, they're drilling into fresh rock. It's easy drilling from the surface. I think the sediments are a difficult thing to drill. We have swelling clays. Then we get into our artesian. So then we've got pressurized water coming out of the hole, and sometimes it's up to 50 degrees heat. Things like that. We've got to use muds to hold that back while we're drilling.
So you have muds to hold back hot water,
hold back the pressurized the water.
So it forms the wall cake, or talking about
it's just the weight in the mud.
Okay.
So it keeps a balance in, so the water can't come into the hole and then lift your cuttings out. So we use a mud to weight it up and the cuttings. Yep.
And I want to know a little bit more about your drilling experience. Can you give us what is the best practice for core drilling or diamond drilling?
Well, there's so get into diamond drilling and stuff like that. I actually wrote a one-page training little package for my drillers.
Okay.
And I can share that with you, but basically follow the steps. You can't go wrong if you follow steps. If you're lazy and you take shortcuts, you end up with problems.
How often do you check the mud?
I'm always looking at what's going on. I can see what's going in the hole, and I can see what's coming out of the hole.
You're always breathing that.
Absolutely, mate. It's when you're on a drill rig, you're 100% involved in what's actually happening. It's not just one thing. It's like I said before, it's 100 things that you must be looking at, listening, smelling. I don't even like people smoking cigarettes around the rig because I can smell it if the engine's getting hot, or there's hydraulic oil, or you can smell diesel or something like that. So you just live and breathe drilling when you're trying to achieve what you need to.
That's great, and I really respect you for that. I kind of see the passion you have and how much you look after the machine and what kind of experience goes into each and every meter you have drilled. So
thank you.
That's awesome, and
and I'd like to thank PRD for inviting me over. I got to play with some machines this week, and it was exciting. And you got some good gear there, and I'd be pleased to take that home and call one of them my own.
Okay, that's great. So Mick, we're going into a rapid fire section where you just have to answer the first thought which comes into your mind.
Right.
So can we get into it?
Yeah, mate, it's getting a bit late in the day, so beer might be on my mind, but let's go.
So biggest industry myth?
Biggest industry? Oh, jeez. It's not.
Is there any myth in the industry you want to break?
No.
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 Okay. One technology every mining company should adopt.
Safety.
Most underrated skill in drilling.
Problem solving.
Automation, opportunity or disruption.
Opportunity.
One country leading drilling innovation today.
Australia.
Awesome. Safety or productivity, which one comes first?
Safety.
Yes, so this is your last rapid fire question. Future of drilling in one sentence.
So safety, innovation, and production.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So would you, are your children in the drilling industry as well?
No, I never pushed my kids into the drilling industry. So drilling is my passion, and I've shown them, I've taught them, I've brought them to work with me, but I want them to chase their own dreams. My younger son, he's becoming a bricklayer.
Mm-hmm.
My older son is he's an electrician, so I want them to chase their dreams. I'll help them along, and they can always come and give Dad a hand when they need some money.
Definitely. So I think I'm picturing your elder son being an electrician. He would come back and work on the rigs because by that time the machines will be so electronic. You know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So he's actually going into electrical engineering after he finishes his apprenticeship as an electrician. So, and that was the key because of the global transformation into the electric world.
Okay.
I want him to be on the front foot with all that sort of stuff. So maybe you will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So we spoke a lot, and what led you into getting into the drilling industry?
Money.
Money?
So I got told that they get paid a lot. So that's what sort of put me through the door to start off with. But when the travel and the learning, the experience, the matehood, if I stayed in my hometown, I probably would have gone a different path. And I was pretty well up to no good when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hang out with some seedy sort of guys, but I went away for about 8 weeks on my first swing. And when I came back, I had money in my pocket. I saw the guys doing the same thing, talking the same rubbish. And once I started growing and I started buying a few things, a car, a motorcycle, they're going, "You're lucky."
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of looked at them and I said, "Luck's got nothing to do with it, mate. Just go out, chase your dreams." And that's when I really realised that the drilling industry, I fit right in, and it was something that I could push myself to.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.